Welcome to America This Week, United We Stand. I'm Eric Bolling. We are now 100 plus days into protests and riots, 7 weeks away from Election Day, and more than 6 months into a global pandemic. Joining me now is Dr. Scott Atlas, President Trump's newest coronavirus advisor. Dr. Atlas, thank you for being here. You are the man of the hour. Listen, I got to put all this other stuff, this he said, she said, these unnamed sources aside. You talk to the president. I've seen you talk to him. I've seen you whisper into his ear. Tell us what the president believes the dangers are of COVID-19. What is real firsthand account?
Okay, well, thanks for having me. I can only say this, that he views it as a very, very serious issue. There is no understatement of the of the problem here. Lots of Americans have lost their lives, and there's no way to minimize that fact, and there's no attempt to. It's a very serious pandemic, and the administration, before I was even involved, has done a lot of great things to move the ball forward to minimize the harm from it. And we all know about all the efforts in Operation Warp Speed to develop a vaccine. We know all about all the resources that were developed, that we're doing we've done over 90 million tests. I mean, it's a huge array of things, including mobilizing resources to nursing homes and point of care testing now going to every single nursing home, all kinds of things. But there's no minimizing this. Right. In fact, he's very concerned, like every normal person would be.
Sir, so one of the big political footballs of the season, we're a couple of months to the election, and the vaccine, you mentioned it right there, the vaccine. President Trump believes there will be a vaccine prior to the election, November 3rd. Dr. Fauci says don't count on it. What say you?
Well, I mean, what I've been told, and I'm not a primary person involved in the vaccine development, but I'm in the meetings that discuss it to some extent, and they're on track to have almost or somewhere around or maybe a little bit more than 100 million doses by the end of the year. The production is ongoing while the trials are going. There are several vaccine candidates. There's been an optimization of the process so that, we already have, in 7 months after knowing the RNA, the genetic sequence of the virus, we already have phase 3 trials, which are the last sort of phase of clinical trials going, which is amazing. And it's hard to predict. It's essentially impossible to be accurate in a prediction about when this will be available, but they're on track to having it by the end of the year. But it's all determined by the data. I mean, no one, by the way, is seeing the data. The data is not visible to the president. It's not visible to us in the White House at all. Right. It's a black box of data that's being watched by a data and safety monitoring board of outside experts. It has nothing to do with what the president says or wants to happen, because we all want the vaccine. I wish I had the vaccine right now. I would take it immediately. The point here for the American public to know is really, and this is really critical, there are no safety corners being cut. There is no influence of the trial being done by anyone. There is no political pressure whatsoever. That is ludicrous. And in fact, it's doing the public a really heinous disservice to push that narrative.
Let me turn this a little bit. And no one in their right mind thought that the FBI would ever be involved in politics of a presidential election. Yet we found Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and Comey were heavily involved in trying to get Hillary Clinton elected rather than Donald Trump. You said by the end of the year. That's 2 months prior, 2 months after the election. November 3rd leaves 60 days almost till the end of the year. Is there any slow walking? I mean, listen, I'm going to get beat up. I know they're going to beat me up for asking this. Is there any politics being played with the timing of a vaccine?
Not that I'm aware of. Again, I'm not a political person, even though I may be portrayed as one. But I mean, that's the way this is going is that there is a defined process for safety and efficacy. And I think we all know on the task force, every single person agrees this is an objective process. It could be done sooner than the end of the year. I'm saying that it's on track to be by the end of the year. Who knows how? No one knows exactly when, because it's all about the number of events. It's a number of infections. It's a number of patients who have positive and negative results. It's a matter of statistical power,
Right.
and the end result will be determined by the people who are seeing the data. And
Right.
those people are not the President of the United States. He has no influence on how quickly this is going other than to expedite the process that he has done. And this is something to celebrate. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and to think somehow that people are undermining the safety issue is really unconscionable. Those kinds of people that are basically dissuading people from taking the vaccine, in my view, are killing people. That's how serious this is. This is really political malfeasance to undermine what Americans feel safe about. We have the best FDA drug procedures. We have the best vaccine development safety-wise in the world. And I can tell you, there's not a single person on the task force that wouldn't take the vaccine right now if we had it.
You know, interesting you say that. I asked that very question to Dr. Fauci. He's been on the show a couple of times. And when this whole hydroxychloroquine issue was coming up, I asked him, sir, would you take it? Would your family take it? He said, I wouldn't tell my family to take it or not take it. I said, would you take it? And he said, yeah, I guess I would take it. So there you have it. Dr. Scott Atlas would take the vaccine when it's ready. You'll be, they may ask you to take it first. You're okay with that? Quick answer.
Absolutely. I consider myself lucky.
Very good. Dr. Scott Atlas from the President's Coronavirus Task Force Advisor. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.